day, students! Welcome to Illustration NC2. In today's topic, we will discuss how to draw the human figure. Drawing the human figure requires not only artistic skills, but knowledge and comprehension with match and proportion. If you are having difficulty drawing a human figure, do not give up. There are ways to improve your drawings. All you have to do is to find the right technique and draw it correctly. In this lesson, I will teach you how to draw a human figure using an 8-head measurement as a basis of drawing the correct proportion of body parts. We will define and relate proportions in drawing human figures. We will manually draw and lay out human figures following proportions of 8 heads. And I want you to appreciate the importance of proportion in drawing the human figure. One of the most important factors of human figure drawing, sketching, and painting is proportions. Will you please define what proportion is, Neo?
Proportions are the relationships or ratios between the height, width, depth of a subject.
Very good. Okay, how about you, Vigo?
The dimension of composition and the relationship between height, width, and depth are referred to as proportion.
What is the importance of proportions in art? May we know your answer, Trisha?
The importance of proportion in the drawing is it will affect how satisfying it looks and can be used to focus our attention in specific areas.
It seems that you are ready for our topic today. In modern drawing, the basic unit of measurement is the head, which is the distance from the top of the head to the chin. One version of the proportions in modern figure drawing is 1. An average person in general, 7.5 heads tall, including the head. Next, an ideal figure when aiming for an impression of nobility or grace is drawn at 8 heads tall, which we will be doing today. And the third is the heroic figure used in the depiction of gods and superheroes. Okay, let's start to draw the human figure. The tools and materials that we will be using today are the following: bond paper, pencil, eraser, sharpener, and ruler. First things first, sharpen your pencil. Observe safety in sharpening the pencil, especially if you will use a cutter. Clean your workstation and as much as possible, sanitize your tools and your hands before you start. Draw horizontal lines to separate the 8 divisions or portions into 8 equal parts. center, draw a vertical line. On the first section at the top of the division, draw an oval shape for our head. For demonstration purposes, I made my guidelines heavier and darker, but if you do this, make sure your guidelines and initial lines are soft and thin as possible. Divide the second head section into 3 equal portions, with the first line from the top represents the lower part of the neck. The size of the neck is almost half of the head's height. The size of the shoulder is determined by the gender and age of the figure. A man's shoulder is typically larger and more muscular than a woman's. One head is the difference between the middle vertical line and the side shoulder. Let's draw 2 small circles under the first line to serve as a reference for the shoulder, armpit, and the upper arms. Let's draw a diagonal line from the shoulder to the middle of the fourth horizontal line. Do this on both sides, thus creating an inverted triangle. The intersection of the lower tip of the triangle is the navel or the stomach button. The nipple is drawn on the third line, and the distance is 1 head. I normally draw a rib cage to guide me in drawing the upper side hips, waist, as well as the stomach area. The crotch is located on the 5th parallel, which is also the human figure's middle line. Draw a curved line for the pelvic, somewhat lower than that line. On the 7th line, draw 2 small circles. This is where the knees will be. Draw a slightly diagonal line between the 5th and 7th lines to link them. Connect the pelvic lines to the knee to form the thigh. Do the same thing on the other side. Draw 2 small circles on about 1/3 of the bottom head section. This will be the ankle part. Connect the knee line to the ankle line to form the calf. Do it also on the other side. From the circle or the ankle to the bottom line, draw a slightly twisted trapezoid shape. This is the place for the foot. Draw a narrow circle around the waistline for the elbow. Then connect the shoulder line and armpit line to this circle. On the 5th parallel, just along the crotch line, draw a circle for our wrist. Make a line between the elbow and the wrist. The hand is either half or 3/4 the size of the head. It shouldn't be too long or too short. Do the same thing on the other hand. Clean up your sketch and decide on your final lines. you go. We have now our male figure. The procedure is the same for men and women, but keep in mind that the size of the shoulder, waist, and hips differs. In comparison to men, women have a narrow shoulder and waist, a larger chest, and a broader hips. Females are much more curvy and slender, while males are more muscular. This is the criteria for grading your human figure: proportion and accuracy, workmanship, consistency of lines, speed, and neatness. The following are the numerical descriptors. 5 is excellent, 4 is very satisfactory, 3 is satisfactory, 2 is fairly satisfactory, and 1 needs improvement. Each criteria will be graded according to these numerical descriptors, 5 points being the highest and 1 point being the lowest. All values will be added to get the overall score. The equivalent grade of your acquired score is as follows. 25 points is equal to 100, 24 is equal to 98, 22 to 23 is equal to 95, and so on. I hope you work well in your output so you can get a good grade. I want you to take a look at this picture. Are you familiar with this? Have you seen this statue before?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you call this? Vigo, may I
The
know?
statue at the UP school.
Yes, it starts with the letter O.
Oblation.
Okay, that is the oblation. Giving you a brief background of this statue, undoubtedly the most famous icon of UP, the oblation, pahinungod or paghahandog or oblation in Filipino, was first conceived during the presidency of Rafael Palma. President Palma commissioned national artist Guillermo Tolentino to translate the second stanza of Jose Rizal's Mi Ultimo Adios into a UP monument. Tolentino based the oblation on the physique of his student assistant Anastasio Caedo and the proportion of his brother-in-law Virgilio Raimundo. And this is according to the book written by the late UP Diliman College of Fine Arts professor Rodolfo Paras Perez. Guillermo Estrella Tolentino, 1890 to 1976, represents the National Artist Awards for Sculpture in 1973. Relating the oblation to our topic, you will notice that the 8 size head proportion we discussed and drawn earlier is approximately the same with the size and proportion of the oblation. This next image, the water carrier oil on board in 1937, is one of the paintings of Fernando Amorsolo. Are you familiar with Fernando Amorsolo? Fernando Amorsolo y Cueto, 1892 to 1972, is the Philippines' first national artist in painting. That was in 1972. He is also called the Grand Old Man of Philippine Art. In relation to our topic, you will see that the application of 8 heads is unveiled and applied on the painting of Fernando Amorsolo. So as you can see on the picture, it is 8 heads proportion. Very good. The winner is none other than Catherine. First place. The second place is Noelan. Very good. And the third place is Neo.
The significance of learning proportion in drawing is very important, especially in drawing human figures, because it will determine how realistic you want your drawing to be.
Proportion is very important in drawing human figures because it is the one that describes how shapes and lines are related to each other. proportion also help us to make our drawing accurate, help us make an accurate images. Learning everything about proportion is very significant for me because I think this will be my key to success if I will be able to master uh, to draw proportions. It will help me a lot in making my own animations.
Can you show us your work, Mark?
Sure, ma'am. So this is my 8-head human figure male, and this is the 8-head human figure female.
How did you do that, Mark?
I just follow the instruction that you gave to us.
Did you enjoy our activity today?
Yes, ma'am. I enjoy this activity because it gave me knowledge about human proportion.
Very good. Before we end this lesson, please tell your classmates who were not here that they can get a printout copy of this lesson to our school. Just go to the staff room and ask for a copy of this topic and submit it also the following week. I will post this announcement on our FB group chat so that everyone is updated. Okay? For your assignment, I want you to draw an 8-head human figure of a medical frontline worker wearing full PPE or personal protective equipment and incorporate additional text elements to create an infographic poster about how to help our frontline workers this COVID-19 pandemics. So post your work on our Google Classroom. And this will be the rubrics for grading your assignment. That's it for the day. I hope you learned something today. I'll see you on our next synchronous class. Goodbye, class.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Goodbye, ma'am.